And welcome back to Hollow Knight Silksong. While I was exploring recently, I encountered a strange enemy with a cage on its back. As I was fighting this bug, it shot out globs of sticky goo, which held me in place. And then he pulled the cage off of his back and slammed it down on me. The next thing I knew, I awoke in this prison, stripped of my hunter's cloak and my sewing needle. And speaking of which, the bugs above hold them as trophies. It is my purpose now to find my way through this prison, unarmed as I am, and recover my equipment before making my escape. So, I explored this place a tiny bit before starting to record this footage, and then it occurred to me that this would be a fun episode for our little playthrough together, so I started recording. Hornet is quite weak without her sword, using just her body to attack, kicks and punches. And it takes a long time to hurt these enemies. At some point I come to the conclusion that I should just stop trying to fight them and instead just run through the areas. And what's more, it has changed my moveset to an unarmed moveset, which brings back the diagonal dash, my hated foe. So, it is a little tricky to run around with Hornet. Grindle. Oh, you're looking a little stuck there. What a pity. We meet again, little thief. Are you familiar with this place? If we ally our efforts, our escape could be made that much easier. Oh, you jesting. There ain't no allies in prison. You can just throw yourself against the walls in there while I go sniffing for goodies. So there goes Grindle. And I don't think I recorded it in one of my earlier playthroughs, or one of my earlier videos rather. But I found Grindle in a prison some time ago and freed him from his cell. It seems he has found himself on the wrong end of the Citadel's laws again. This prison in which we find ourselves, by the way, is called the Slab. The Slab. And, ironically, it is as close as I have yet been to the Citadel. just need to focus on getting our equipment back. And once we are armed once more with our weapon, these foes should not prove to be too difficult. How are you all enjoying Silksong if you're playing? I saw that they recently, Team Cherry that is, recently released an update that decreased the difficulty of the game in some areas, making 2 bosses easier and decreasing the damage that some environmental hazards did to Hornet from 2 masks to 1. Hey, we thought one of them buzzing bullies was sneaking up on us, but it's just a mangy jail bug. Why you in here then? Caught thieving, were you? Greedy, greedy. I've stolen nothing. Rather, I suspect the wardens are servants of the Citadel. The cage used in my capture bore similar runes to the one that first brought me to this land. Bound in that cage, I'd have proved a fine gift were they to deliver me to their masters. Bah, there ain't nothing fine about you, jailbug. We recognized a fellow thief as soon as we saw you. Now don't be lingering around here. Those guards will be wanting to pop you back in your cage quick. They'll not get the chance. I will reclaim my belongings and leave this grim place with haste. You seem to have some familiarity with this prison and its guards. Do you know a path to escape? Escape? A little jailbug like you ain't ever escaping anything. Get us out of here, will you? Stop bothering us. You got nothing to... Sorry, I said get us out of here. Lots of good stuff tucked away in this old prison. Lovely place to bring a lucky little snitch bug like Grindle. What a favor those lugs did us. Also, I had to record a video of this section because Hornet's body is so funny without her cloak. I made one of my thumbnails from an earlier episode showing off Hornet's body because there's a part where she changes her cloak, and it just made me laugh out loud. Her massive head and her tiny little black stick figure body. It's very goofy. So, because I had referenced how funny I thought Naked Hornet was in that earlier video, once I saw that we were going to have a whole gameplay segment where we were controlling Naked Hornet, I knew that I had to return to this playthrough for this segment. Sorry, also, I have not eaten, so my stomach is proving a bit adversarial right now. I hope it's not too loud. So yeah, I heard that they updated the game. They made 2 of the early game bosses a bit easier. One of which I fought already, and the other one apparently I missed because I rode with the flea caravan. And I heard that if you ride with the fleas, you don't fight the boss, which is a bit sad. I would have preferred to fight the boss. But the other boss that they nerfed was pretty easy, so so far, my current feelings about the difficulty are that it is, it's definitely significantly harder than the first Hollow Knight. But so far, it hasn't felt unfair. There have been moments that I found a little... Just died there. You have to use these saw blade traps in this room to your advantage to help clear out these enemies. Yeah, one aspect that I might be finding a bit annoying, but or just a little bit overtuned at the moment is, I find some bosses have sort of annoyingly large health pools. And I just mean that, you're fighting a boss and how do I put this? My feeling is that when you fight a boss, you should be displaying, before you can win, you should display that you have somewhat mastered the boss, right? From like a gameplay, challenge, a game design perspective. You want the player to prove that they know largely how to fight the boss. You don't need them to be a perfect challenge runner type of expert at the boss, but they should be, reasonably good. That maybe they can make a few mistakes, but overall they know the boss well enough to defeat it without major issues. What I'm finding in Hollow Knight, a Silksong with some of the bosses, is that it feels like you prove that you've mastered the boss, and then they say, okay, and now just fight the boss for an extra minute. And it's fine, it's not really a huge deal, and it's not even that it adds a ton of difficulty per se. It's more so that if you make a mistake and happen to die, it's kind of annoying, because then you think, oh, I was so far into the fight that time. It's really not a huge issue at the moment, but I did, in the, gameplay after this was recorded, I did fight a boss called Phantom, and it was a fine boss. It was really, pretty easy, and yet I found it, I beat it first try, so it wasn't like it's not like I wasted a ton of time on this boss, but as I was fighting it, I was like, dang dude, I've been in phase 2 for so long, and I don't know, it just felt like the health might have been a bit overtuned. From my, game design argument, right, of you should make the player prove that they have reasonable mastery over the boss. I don't think that means the player should prove that by, fighting a boss for 10 minutes. You should do the minimum necessary amount of time in a boss fight to make sure that the player has actually kind of mastered the choreography, if you will, of the boss. But as I said, it's not really a big deal at this point anyways. It's just something that I've noticed. I noticed it with the last judge boss as well. I was like, okay, your attacks aren't really scary to me anymore. And yet I'm still just having to beat on you for quite a while here. But, you know, I could also equip that charm where I do more damage, but I also take more damage if I wanted to make that process faster. There's options. And I'm not optimizing my gameplay, I will say. I don't often use my tools. I don't often use my silk powers. I am pretty frequently just falling back on my basic moveset. Part of that is intentional. I do like to have my silk stored up to heal. I prefer to be more of a defensive player. And so if I do end up getting hit, I like to have a full store of silk to immediately heal it up. But I know that I could be more skillful, and you know, if I incorporated more offensive options and then just made up the difference by not getting hit so much. So this area is, it's on a frozen mountaintop, or I don't know about mountaintop, it's just a snowy area. And if you stay out there for long enough, your body cools down too much, and you start taking frost damage. So you have to pop inside or go to the little warm-up stations from time to time. The lore of the game is also starting to get pretty cool. I'll talk more about it in my next video, where I will be in the Citadel itself. But the Citadel is pretty cool, and the stuff that I'm learning in there is pretty cool. To be honest, you know, it's not like Hollow Knight was ever a game for me where I was obsessed with the lore in the way that I'm obsessed with, you know, FromSoft lore or whatever. The main draw of Hollow Knight for me was the gameplay, but the lore was enjoyable. And, you know, I did quite like it, so. By the way, we have recovered our possessions here, just have to beat this arena battle. Yeah, the lore of the first game was not, for me, a major draw. I wouldn't recommend it on those merits necessarily, but it was good enough to not detract from the game. And it was quite charming and interesting for what it was. So, I do like the idea of doing a Hollow Knight lore video. Because I'm working through Silksong, I might just wait until I am done with Silksong and then do a Silksong lore video, rather than doing a video on the original Hollow Knight. But we'll see. Sometimes I talk about videos that I want to do and then they sort of never happen. So lore videos are tough as well. Not I love doing them, but they do take quite a while. So I can't get them out very frequently. Which isn't really a problem per se, but I have been enjoying getting out 2 videos a week with my Tuesday-Friday schedule. If I started doing lore videos more frequently, again, I would probably have to pull that back to the 1 video a week. But I might do that in the future. I might ease off on the videos and do some more lore stuff. You know, there was a time where this channel was mostly lore videos, and it's honestly just a matter of where my interests are at the time, what I want to do. I really liked the lore videos when I was doing them, and then I stumbled into the kind of map exploration videos, and I really liked those for a while, and I still do. I still release those pretty regularly, but I've also mixed in a little more regular gameplay stuff now. I have a roleplay coming up soon, or maybe it's already out. I'm not sure when this video will go out, but probably somewhere around the time as the roleplay, which is more of a comedic type video, but anyway, I would definitely love to do some more lore stuff. I just need the bug to strike, you know? No pun intended, considering what game we're playing. So, now that we have our stuff back, we can mop up in the slab for a bit, and then find our way out. We've recovered the keys that we need. I am interested to know how long this game is. I've recently started Act 2 and have put somewhere around 18 hours into the game, I think. And I've heard there's an Act 3 as well. I don't know if they're all equally long, but you know, it could be that we're looking at a 40-hour game easy, right? I've seen in the achievements list they have the speedrun achievements as they did in the first Hollow Knight. And I think there's an achievement for attaining 100% game completion in under 20 hours. Which is pretty crazy. I think in Hollow Knight, that 100% achievement was somewhere around like 10 hours, maybe a bit less even. So that should speak to how much larger this one is. Do we have any idea if they're going to do DLC for this game? One of the things that made that 100% achievement a touch easier in the first game was the fact that the DLC added additional percentage, so you could get, I think, up to 106% completion. So you could pick and choose 6% worth of stuff to skip or avoid or whatever. And I don't really have an intention of getting the speedrun achievement here. Just because, I don't know, different times in your life, if I, for whatever reason, ended up with a bit more time, you know, that's when I tend to do achievement hunting. I was not, well, achievement hunting, by the way, if you're unfamiliar, is just, you know, game challenges that developers put into games, and they have a sort of unified framework across platforms like PlayStation and Xbox and PC. Maybe I'll remember to talk about achievement hunting later, but we are at Bellhart now, and I want to talk to a lot of NPCs here, so, because I haven't talked to them yet. The noise from above has returned, that pitiful clamor. The threads have been cut. It was you who cut them down. Do not deny it. Why should I deny it, sir? I severed the thread and defeated the creature guiding the curse under the town. Are you displeased? Displeased? If I breathe, if I live, I am displeased. Only the dead are satisfied. Relatable. You are a slave and a nuisance. Be gone. I'll waste no more words on a slave. Be gone. So, now that we have a wall climb, we can explore these little bell tunnels here. Then I will talk to the residents of Bellhart because I have not done that yet. But, yeah, achievement hunting is just going, for those challenges that the developers put into the games. So, it's a bit of a subculture in the gaming crowd of people who put a lot of time and effort into getting these achievements. When I was younger, I did achievement hunt to some degree. When I was in like middle school and stuff, when you could just come home from school and you had nothing to do all day, and to find some way to keep interested. So one of the things that I got into was achievement hunting. Try and do 100% games. honestly, just as like I got more busy and other things came into my life, the appeal of achievement hunting lost its luster. These days, I very rarely try to 100% games or even achievement hunt too much. But what I do occasionally do is when a game is very good, when I really enjoyed it, if I find it was kind of meaningful to me for some reason, is then I will try to 100% the game. It doesn't happen very often, but I view it as kind of a last thank you to the game for existing or something like that. Some kind of little bow, a little button up on my time with the game. So, again, I don't have to do it. Disco Elysium is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm missing most of the achievements in that one. There's something in that case, it feels almost disrespectful to achievement hunt in it. Because for me, just playing through the game a bunch to get the other achievements feels almost disrespectful to its highly narrative identity. But that's just me. But I did 100% Outer Wilds, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I only had a couple by the time I beat the game, and so I thought I'll just mop these up. And it, it's just to me some kind of sign of love for the game. And I did 100% Hollow Knight, just because I did really enjoy the game. Sometimes achievements are kind of stupid and annoying. Like there'll be like grindy stuff, like collect 1,000 giblets or whatever, right? And it's like, you're just wasting my time. You're just giving me an objective to do that has no sense of satisfaction or anything. But then other times I find the achievements point you in. They offer you new, interesting challenges. They allow you to play with the game in a way that you wouldn't have before. So like in Halo, the Master Chief Collection, a game that I'm kind of trying to 100% very slowly over time, they have the lasso achievements, which I did with a friend. I could talk about that more, but the citizens of Bellhart, let's hear what they have to say. So this is a little man with a bell on his head. He is very silly. And Gleaming Rest, if you play your needle in, he will sing with you, which is pretty awesome. Almost there, Gleaming Rest. We serve safe for the pilgrims many. You seem hard at work, good bug. Are you a hunter of a sort? This is pond catcher Reed. Of a simple sort, I'm a pond catcher around these parts, the last remaining in fact. Us few Bellharters are badly needing for fresh food, so my lone shell's carrying quite the responsibility. At least Shellwood Pond's still full of good meat, especially if your aim with a long pin's as good as mine. Bellhart's lost much of its luster, but we still offer some comfort to the pilgrims who climb this high. You've met Frey, miss. She's usually stocking useful items for travelers such as yourself. If you're heading out across the pond, be wary of the other catchers. They're all long lost to Farloom's haunting. Weak minds, the lot of them. Still, their long pins remain sharp enough. And we have some quests here. Silver bells. When searching the bell veins, collect some silver bells. And we have my missing courier from Frey. My dear little courier was last seen in Shellwood. Please someone find Dip and send him home, along with all of his precious stock. We will accept that wish. We have Crawbuck clearing. Crage of the halfway home. Those plastic Crawbucks are falling on my roof. Come up with a clever solution to keep them away, but Turtle needs some help. Inquire at the halfway home if you're fit for the task. Alright. Well, we have some quests from Bellhart. This is Frey. Greetings, shopkeeper. It seems you've recovered well from the silken affliction. Ah, well, I'm a clever bug. When that strange thread struck down from above, I shut up tight and huddled in my bell home. Might have been a problem for the others about here, but my store was flush with supplies, so no fear I'd go hungry. Your preparedness served you well then, although your store now seems quite bare. Yes, I'll admit, the wait was longer than I'd anticipated, and a bug has to eat. I'll have more to offer you once my courier turns up. No doubt he's been avoiding Bellhart since the curse set its sight on us. He would have been wise to do so. If, on my travels, I happen upon the errant bug, I'll make sure to send him your way. So she has a memory locket for sale. She can also tie up our rosaries in a rosary necklace. Welcome, welcome, weary pilgrim. Though glorious Bellhart may be past its finest shine, it still remains the last friendly stop before the citadel. It is the task of I, fair Pavo, to extend the warmest of welcome to those passing devout, such as your good self. Your town seems returned to healthy form, good bug. I had some concern that, upon cutting you free, I'd find only husks. Yes, well, most of our residents did not fare so well. Still, it's no good to dwell on dark things. We shall build and grow and welcome, as is any good bellbug's task. What do you remember of your time caught upon the thread, Pavo? It is difficult, upsetting even to think about. Strange, sad memories, not my own, and my own thoughts smothered amidst the tangle. If one could choose to connect themselves to something grander, that curse may seem a wonder. For myself, it now seems a horror. Welcome, welcome, travelers all. Rest your weary shell and revive your flagging spirit. Bellhart, glorious, gleaming, and very, very safe. Stay a while before you begin your final climb. Alright, well, we have Sherma here too.
Oh, hi there. Why, I must have dropped off to sleep as soon as I arrived.
This settlement offers safety now, little pilgrim. Perhaps you should make a home here. You've done well to make it this far, and the roads ahead will only be more dangerous. Oh, dangerous they surely are, but I will gladly tread any path that holds wonders as magnificent as this red maiden. I'll be off soon, once I'm good and rested. Beyond the wood lies the final climb, and then at last we shall reach the citadel. Which of us will reach the grand gate first? If it's me, I shall wait for you so we can enter together. Alright, Sherma's journey takes her ever closer to the citadel. So we have 2 more buildings here. And we have Chakra. Pushonga, child-wielding needle. This heart home is cut free of its curse. Tell me, was it your blade that brought it safe in? My shock would be great if another here managed the feat. I slew a tall creature above the town, a weaver I suspect, though one twisted in purpose. By voice and claw it aided, perhaps guided the thread that strung the town. Weaver, those vicious old things. To our young we tell the tales, but had thought them long dead. Only corpses bound in spires. This one still lived, though if it was a weaver, it was broken in a savage way. Its own silk was bound, pinned deep within its shell, a cruel punishment I've not before witnessed. Even broken, my envy remains. A weaver's fabled skills. To meet one in combat means great challenge and great pride in victory. So yes, markers for sale for us. We'll just go ahead and buy these, buy out chakra stock. You have purchased the last of my mapping stock for now. Stay alive on your journey, and when our paths next cross, we may trade again. I haven't seen chakra in a while. I have a handful of areas that I don't have maps for yet. What? Who is it? What have you got? What do you want? I am just a traveler, one hoping you are not too badly affected by the cursed snare set upon this town. Bah, what binds them outside means nothing to me. None of them have my keen sense, my respect for the past. You seem able, though. Sneaky, too. If you find any old stuff, anything with a history to it, bring it here. I'll take it. But what's this? I smell something on you right now. You have a relic for me. We will just hold on to our relics. What? You refuse to pass it on? What good do you think it'll do you? This is a relic seeker's scrounge, by the way. By Claw, are you then our savior in the shell, standing so calm and cool on entrance to Pliny's bell home? Pinmaster Pliny, what clue, sir, tells of my part in your town's liberation? Why, your blade, fierce warrior. Any fine pinmaster would detect the sign of deadly work upon that needle's edge. 'Twas a vile curse that struck here. No simple bug nor basic pin could have granted our release. No. That blade, though, so expertly clutched in claw, that could well have met the task. It was you who cut us free, yes. I'll grant you sharp sight, Pinmaster, and your saving is fortuitous. This blade that restored your town would now benefit from your service. Well, yes, I have a busy backlog of pins to tend, but your gracious heroism decrees that unique weapon receives my care this very moment. What say I take a look? Sharpen needle. We will, of course, sharpen our needle. This will allow us to do more damage to enemies. Needle sharpened. Bonva, it is done, brave warrior. By my expert claw, your strange blade has received some fast, sharp shine. It shall cut cleaner than ever before. Your efforts provide great aid, Pinmaster. You have my thanks. Your skills are impressive. My needle sings from your care. But I must ask, can the blade be honed further? You seek further sharpening, further than Pliny does provide. Impertinence. But, maybe. But, no. You hesitate. Then it is possible. Are you incapable? Should I seek others within the kingdom? Wait, yes. Seek not others, but an oil, fabled and fine. With it, the citadel once brought a gleaming edge and point to its pins. Though the citadel's pinmasters are long gone, some small store of that miraculous elixir may remain within its halls. Were even a meager drop pilfered and gifted upon Pliny, your blade could shine brighter still. Just know, dear friend, the veiled bugs would be oh so unkind to the thief who'd claim that fine prize for themselves. Pinmaster's oil, wish promised. I will find the oil, Pinmaster. My needle has seen much use in this cruel kingdom, and I suspect many more battles are due. I will value your further skills upon my blade. It is a dangerous wish you accept of this poor Pinmaster. I welly hope this one's professional desire does not cost you your life. Up there in that citadel, the fabled oil is awaiting. Bestow it upon this fine Pinmaster, and your blade shall sing louder yet. I will find the oil, Pinmaster. Keep your skills sharp. Alright, and that is all that Mr. Pliny has to say to us. Let's see if I can pick up on any of the threads that I had forgotten before. I was talking about, what was I talking about? I was talking about achievements, right? And I was talking about achievements that sort of encourage a more fun engagement with the game, or, you know, give you additional fun to get out of the game. So, for instance, in Halo the Master Chief Collection that I was talking about, they have achievements for completing the games on the lasso setting. And lasso is a legendary, no pun intended. Oh god, I've said that twice in this video. Sorry, I just hate puns. The lasso challenge is a fabled, let's say, challenge for the Halo games. Lasso stands for Legendary All Skulls On, and Legendary is the difficulty modifier, or the difficulty setting, and then All Skulls On means that you turn on all the skulls, and skulls make the game harder in a variety of ways. So you can take away your, your reticle and your UI and your gun with one skull called Blind. You can, have all these various difficulty settings, enemies dodge more frequently, and yada yada. So, also I'm just looking around for those silver bells that I had on that, for that wish that I took. But for some reason, they don't seem to have spawned into these tunnels, strangely enough. And so Lasso, I always, I knew about Lasso. I knew that it was a challenge that some people did, but I never had any particular interest in doing it myself. Those bugs, cowering in their gleaming bills, they claim a common calling to serve the pilgrims as they make their path upwards. Such a crucial role they award themselves, surely worthy of praise. A sweet lie, of course. They, like their predecessors, are simply too weak and fearful to venture any farther, a settlement born from indolence. I'll waste no more words on a slave, be gone. So, I was never going to play the lasso difficulty of Halo. It just, never crossed my mind to do it. But in the Master Chief Collection, they had achievements for completing all of the lasso, completing all of the Halo games on the lasso difficulty. And so, one of my good friends from high school, actually I met him in middle school, I might have even met him in elementary school, I'm trying to remember when we first met. Anyway, he was, a good friend of mine from a young age, and one night we were playing, and we just had this random thought of, hey, you want to try to get that lasso achievement? And what that started was, over many months, we would schedule a play session to try to do another level of lasso. And it is one of the, hardest things to do. It was so difficult. Especially Halo 2. Oh my god, Halo 2 on lasso was insane. But this friend of mine, the two of us just conquered all of the lasso games. And when we could go to 4-player in Halo 3 and ODST and Reach, we brought in a couple of other friends to do those as well. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. It was difficult, and also, we might get a message here. Sister Spider, husk-bound branch, watch over these bugs passing safe, warded by fear, no longer your meal. So yeah, in that case, going for achievements created an incredible bonding experience for me and my friend and our other friends that joined us. We, just had such wonderful times and struggled and laughed and had absolute tragedies. I mean, I tell you, trying to do a level in Halo 2 Lasso, if you're not like amazing at the game, is an hours long attempt. And so, trying to schedule time after work, we would often have to start playing late at night, and then we would be up until 1 a.m. at the end of a mission, and then boom, pardon me, I had to go take care of something. What was I talking about? I was talking about my experience with my friend and doing Lasso. I don't remember exactly what the last point I was making was, but yeah, the point is just that I had these wonderful times with my friends that would absolutely never have happened if there wasn't an achievement for that. Now, of course, we could have just done that challenge ourselves, but there's something about it being a structured thing, right? An incentive. Anyway, here's a career tip.
Oh, these horrible beastie beasts are gone. Much and many thanks for you, mighty warrior.
It was a simple thing, small bug. I assume you are Tip, the courier. Frey, the Bellhart trader, seemed concerned for your safety and for the cargo you carry.
She sent you? Bah, she needs to learn a little patience. I'm has barely been away, but still, is lucky for me you came.
My missing courier, wish granted.
Well, I must be off now. That old grubbly grub at the bell will come after me herself if she not get her goods.
And there goes Tip. So, I say all that to just point out that there are some achievements are just meant to kind of steal your time, I think, honestly. But some can also provide a wonderful little, I don't know, just a new way of engaging with the game. Something you wouldn't have done yourself. Solemn Pilgrim, what ritual calls you all together, Pilgrim? Our brother, this poor wretch in my arms, has walked his last aching step. We gather here to sing him farewell, and to mourn our great loss. For though, as pilgrims, we aim our sights high, and never waver from our path, the loss of a brother or sister still stops our trembling limbs in place. Sing, brothers and sisters, sing, and drown out this burdensome sorrow. Sing out the name of this poor pilgrim, whose journey had nary begun. Who here knows the name of this little pilgrim? Well, though this pilgrim's name has been lost, still we sing. Sing for our brother, who has died a devout death, all his pains and torments left behind, like the dust shrugged from a traveller's shawl. Farewell, little pilgrim. May your shell harden the path for others to tread. And away goes the body. Well, I'm not sure I mentioned it, but, fellow pilgrim, your journey ends. We carry your memory. Fellow pilgrim, fallen brother. Bone Bottom was attacked by a beast. And though I fended off the beast, the small pilgrim that rested by the bench was tragically slain. So, I will play my needle in to commemorate our fallen friend who conversed with us much as we passed through Bone Bottom. And until next we return to Farloom, I hope that you